Well, Vincent, having been at many of these before, it was a little livelier, I expect, than many others. I found, disappointing, I'm not quite sure, I found the comments of Bishop Jones quite extraordinary. That the tone of being under siege, of the unjustified criticisms that he feels are coming in his and the church's direction, but the equation of an organised body, a corporate body like the church, with the family, for instance, or as he tried to push across, I found utterly and completely bizarre. I mean, we know that individual families, like that case last week, there was a common case that both the husband and wife abused children, and both covered it up. But in the church, for instance in Dublin, in the Murphy report, they discovered that 4 archbishops, one after the other, systematically covered up what was going on in this archdiocese. These were men who weren't part of the problem themselves. They weren't involved in any of this activity, unlike that couple in Roscommon last week. They weren't caught into it. They were detached from it. They were objective from it, if you like, and they did it to use the Catholic definition of mortal sin with full knowledge and with full consent, and it was grievous harm. And he seems to have moved the goalposts of the whole matter, at least in his own head. I'm talking about Bishop Jones. It just, you can't compare the abuse in the family with the abuse that this institution was found as having been responsible for in Dublin.
What did you think of the press conference, Mary?
Well, it's extraordinary to hear a bishop ask why people are singling out the church in the context of asking questions about the cover-up of child abuse. When you look at who the moral arbiters are in society, what is the organisation that we have allowed in Irish society and that have been to the fore in telling us what is right, what is wrong, what is morality, what is sin, what is virtue, and then
what is.
We discover through a series of reports that they have behaved with the greatest hypocrisy according to their own rules, and then bishops complain and wonder why they're being singled out and why it is we are asking these questions about them. It displays, I think, is an amazing detachment from real life.
Mary, you should be asking the Departments of Education and Justice the same questions too, and the Department of Health and Children. They are very much in deep trouble. They're in the abysses of all of these abuses as well. They covered up too.
I mean, these people are obviously so disconnected. They live in such a kind of rarefied atmosphere. They haven't the slightest comprehension as to why it is people get exercised over this issue. And